Dr. I was wondering, the way in which this change of money is really going to help. I understand that there's so much money out of the banks that are wherever they happen to be. We've seen social media videos of money crumbling from being improperly stored wherever they were stored, trailer loads, if those are not gimmicks, deteriorating, money just disintegrating. God knows how long ago those ones have been buried, wherever they have been buried. So what is the technical import of changing this money, changing the design so that it will no longer be legal tender after a certain time? All monies that are out, that are not already in the bank, probably these ones are now wasted, but the banks are working round the clock to help whoever comes up for the exercise, oblige them. Even up on Saturdays, I understand some, if not all, the banks are going to be working like that. But tell me the import of trying to, of this particular move, canceling out the former notes so that beyond a certain time, those currencies become worthless. Well, what's the import of all of that?
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you once again. One of the primary objectives of Central Bank of any nation is to what they call money supply management, to manage the amount of money in circulation. And CBN doing this at this time is actually not doing this is not out of place. It's one of their responsibilities. But the timing for me is what is an issue for me.
The timing is what you have an issue with. Okay, let me come back to you so you can explain that a bit more. But in the meanwhile, Ada from Jos has joined us. Good morning, Ada.
Good morning, Mr. Yori. Good morning to your guest there, Ada, calling from Jos, Plateau State. Mr. Yori, our risk profile is very high. Unless we deal with the harsh economic policies, no investor will come to invest, no matter what the message tells us on this increase in the rates for the commercial bank. As far as I'm concerned, it's ridiculous, And again, so you can imagine, in Nigeria, we are now faced with multi-dimensional poverty. Education, nil, health, nil, any capacity, very low, mode of transportation, nil, food insecurity. So what do you want us to do? All these your economic terms doesn't make sense to us. And when I go to the market, everything increases every day. And then we should move away from being a raw-based economy to a processing-based economy. I don't need any today economists to know that. This will bring about industrialization, which will in turn create jobs and also enable us to be able to export finished products, which will earn us more foreign exchange. So I don't know. Must I be an economist? Can't I follow the stories, the trend, what is happening in other places? Look at Ukraine. There's a war going on there. But yet we are praying for them. We're on our knees because we need their grace. How did they do it? Is it rocket science? And, I just understand the policies we are having in this country. Changing the color of the Naira now. Well, how does it affect my life?
All right, then.
Okay. Change the color and so what?
Okay.
Let's not hear about this.
Okay, Ada, thank you very much for calling in. Dotun, would you like to continue, please? Because as she was saying, I guess there's a sense in which some of it is rocket science when you get into the technicalities of money. But really, it's a bit confusing. That is why you started off by saying that, look, let you try and deboogie all of these MPR, MPCs, and all of those inflation rates, which I thank you for. But to go to her question, you heard her opinion in terms of what this really means for investors coming in, that she doesn't feel anybody's going to be reassured. What would you say to that?
Okay. So as I was saying before the call, the wonderful submission from Mr. Ada came in. As he said, as you can see, we don't need even to study economics to understand some of these principles. So back to timing and then the reason CBN gave for the designing the money. It's one of their duties, as you said, one of their responsibilities to change or increase the quality or the securities in currency as time goes on. Between 5 to 8 years, every central bank of every nation does that. So, but the reasons that CBN gave here, they are too elementary to embark on this type of huge decision. For instance, they said to combat security, combat insecurity. For me, that is a big slap on the face of our security agents in the country. So that means the DSS, the military, the paramilitary, and the likes, they don't know what they are doing. So we have to change currency so that the money that the kidnappers and the bandits have with them will change. So for me, they only change tactics. We can't be saying that some things we can't be saying on here for the sake of not empowering them on how to clean their money. But if it is to combat this insecurity, which is one of the reasons why what CBN governor gave is why we're changing money. In fact, it's a lost cause from the beginning at onset. And again, they also said there is too much money in circulation. And the question is, who is printing this fund in the last 5 years? If you check in 2015, the currency in circulation is about 1.64 trillion naira, and now it has increased to 3.23 trillion. So in the last 5 years, in the last 7 years, who was printing? It was CBN, which is what they call Ways and Means.
Indeed.
So it was CBN that was printing. So
can I interject, please? Sorry, could I interject, please, to also take a call? But on the point you were making, we've made this point jocularly, but I don't know how serious it is. You always have mint notes on Saturdays and Sundays in Lagos, maybe other state capitals, for people who are going to spray it. So banks are colluding and selling money to these people, and then they keep on telling us there is no money. So we just are living in a very contradictory society. I don't know. The CBN governor knows it, the president knows it, the state governor knows it. Everybody's aware and turns the blind eye. Now the time has come, you're bringing all this tier money out. But in the meantime, Chidi in Kafanchan. Good morning, Chidi.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, the guests over there.
Yes.
It is an interesting thing while we watched the president yesterday unveiling the redesigned Naira notes. But the truth must be told, Uncle Yori, at this point in time. The redesigning of the notes without making the Naira more valuable and making the economy more valuable also for Nigerians would mean almost nothing. Therefore, I want to encourage or advise the Nigerian monetary policy makers to look inward, to know how to make sure that the strength of the Naira we have is going to come up, to meet up with other monies in the world.
Indeed.
And again, to make the economy of this country become stronger for the benefit of Nigerian businessmen and women, as well as foreign investors.
All right, then.
Thank you very much, and God bless Nigeria.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Chidi in Kafanchan. So Dr. Picking up on a strain of what he was saying, making the actual value of our currency, whatever color it bears, better than it actually is. Well, there were those who were being optimistic. Remember, the Naira had been in a mess against the dollar in recent times. I think the thing was nudging, almost 800, but then they say the Naira has gained a bit. So I don't know, they say the Naira has gained a bit. But so as Chidi was saying in there, the important thing is to make sure that we do have value to this currency. And he's saying that he doesn't understand how this is going to be improving the value of the Naira note. But I think you were on this particular trend before I interrupted you. Please continue.
All right. So as I was saying, the reasons given by the CBN governor for changing the currencies are actually, for me, too elementary. In terms of insecurity, it has no, it's no brainer. Then again, if you also look at it, currencies are actually not designed to remain in the bank. In fact, banks don't make money by putting the money in their strong room. They make money by this money circulating in the society, which is what they call money velocity. Now, if you check the entire money supply, that is the M2, we have what they call M1 and M2 definition of money supply in any economy. That is in economy, sorry. That is the M1, the narrow definition, and the M2, the broad definition. So you check the M1 is currency circulation and demand deposit. That's our current account. Then the M2 is M1, that is currency circulation, demand deposit, savings, and other quasi money. When I say quasi money means those instruments that can be converted to cash, like your share certificate and the like. So check the M2. The total amount of the money supply in Nigeria is about 49 trillion naira. In fact, going towards 50 trillion naira now. but the currency circulation, the currency component of it is only 3.23 trillion, which if you do the ratio, you have about less than 7%, that's 6.7% ratio of currency in circulation to the entire money supply. So if the government says that they want to control the amount of money in circulation so that they can increase the potency of the monetary policy, for me, it's not adding up. Because you can't leave
indeed.
about
Sorry to interrupt you,
97%.
Doctor. Indeed, because as I was just receiving, the experts are saying that CBN apparently has failed in its efforts aimed at addressing inflation and the disparity in the foreign exchange market. That's an opinion. I'll seek your opinion.
So they have made they've made the foreign exchange market very profitable. They have given room for arbitrage to thrive. For instance, look at the margin between official exchanges and the parallel market, over 300 Naira. So they have actually made it more profitable. And we know this is a simple economic sense. When there is profit is an inducement for supplier to come in. So that increase, that disparity is actually a way of bringing in arbitrage, bringing in the Bureau de change. We call this a black market. We have actually normalized this in our country.
Indeed.
When they say something is black market, it's an underworld market.
Now
It's a market, it's an illegal market.
Sorry to interrupt you again, but I do believe we have a caller on the line. Do we have a caller? Is there a caller on the line? Joseph in Nasarawa. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Please, I want to talk on the increase in the MPR rate.
Okay. Okay.
So I think it's a policy somersault because we say we are encouraging ease of doing business. And you know that the most problematic factor in doing business in Nigeria is finance. That means that the interest rate will have to go up. And when interest rate goes up, then it will be difficult to investors to borrow, to do production, and then making it possible for people to buy those goods at a reasonable price. That's my contribution.
All right, then. Thank you very much indeed for contributing it. And Dr. let me come back to you with a further kind of a question. Look, there's something about, since we're using technical terminologies this morning, there's something you technical people talk about, refer to as the alignment between fiscal and monetary authorities in Nigeria. Is this a good thing as the president is wrapping up his administration? I don't know what you think about this present alignment. You know, is it of benefit, or is it just floating around? Give me your impression.
In economics, there's what we call ISLM analysis. That is the real sector, the alignment between the real sector and then when I say real sector, I mean the fiscal sector and then the monetary sector. So there should be a particular interest rate and the level of GDP, that is the amount of the volume of employment of resources in the economy that both of them should aim towards. So a case where the fiscal sector and the monetary sector don't work in agreement, then there will be the kind of problem we're having in the country now. So imagine when CBN governor announced that there will be a change of currency, the Minister of Finance came in, who is the head of the fiscal sector, came in, I think a day or 2 days after, and said she was also reading it on the news that there will be a change of currency. That shows that there is a serious disharmony, there's a serious disunity between the two of them. And when the two sectors of the economy don't work together, we'll have the same problem we're having right now. So we are saying that the cost push, the type of inflation we have is what they call cost push inflation. So who should handle the cost of doing business in Nigeria? Who should handle the cost part of inflation? That is the fiscal sector. Why the CBN will concentrate on the monetary sector, that is the demand pull inflation. Exactly. So it's like CBN now is working towards doing the monetary sector, that is the monetary solution to solve fiscal problem. So until both of them work together, there will be a problem. And as I said, the designing of currency right now, for me, is more of political than economic reasons. in 1984, we have seen this before when the CBN governor...
Beg your pardon, once again, I got to interrupt you, but luckily you understand our program. Because it reminds me of Ada's contribution, that is this thing rocket science? Well, there's a sense in which it is rocket science. Here we're talking about, technical aspects of it. But Mazi Okoroafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, I guess. You see, this issue of the CBN interest rate of 16.5%, the local industries are suffering it a lot. Because what I'm saying, if you listen to my brother last 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, Edison, what he was complaining, that interest rate they see here in Nigeria is different from the one they give to foreigners. Foreigners benefit a lot more than Nigerian manufacturers. Why is this so? Because if the interest rate balances, both foreign and local manufacturers, but they give discrimination to people that are from Nigeria, and that is why local manufacturers they find it very difficult to employ more staff. The area the CBN look into it is better for us. Even the man said they're trying to challenge anybody from CBN, NAFDAC, and in any television houses to prove his fact because he has his own paper. So CBN should do the need because it is the consumer that suffer all these interest rates. The pushers, they don't fast it. Because at the end of the day, the manufacturers, inclusive everything inside their product, the final consumer faces a lot of problems. That is why you see the rate of poverty in Nigeria continue increasing. CBN do the needful for our local manufacturers so that they will create job opportunity for Nigeria, make life comfortable for Nigeria, make product manufacturing in Nigeria cheap. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much for calling in. So, Dr. Well, this alignment, or shall I say misalignment between fiscal and monetary authorities, one cannot but wonder if we're going to be making progress really, or if it's a lot of motion and no movement.
So until both sectors agree to come together and work in unison, we'll surely be having the problem of inflation, unemployment. You can see the multidimensional poverty index being released recently.
Yes.
So and if you look at it, that means any moment from now, when they release unemployment figure, it will actually increase from the 33.33% that it is. Reason being that in economics, there's what we call mystery index. That's addition of inflation and unemployment rate. As we speak right now, inflation rate is about is 21.09.
Yes.
Unemployment is 33.33%, and the addition of the two will give us 50-something%. But from what the recent multidimensional poverty index being released, they said that about 63% Nigerians are miserable. Are below the poverty line. That's 133%, 133 million Nigerians. So if 63% is poverty index, which can also translate to what they call mystery index, then inflation is about 21%. When you take 21% out of 63%, you'll be having about 40-something% left. That means by the time they are releasing unemployment figure, as we speak right now, it will be above 40% or around 40%. That's a simple arithmetic. So the redesigning of Naira, how does that improve employment in Nigeria?
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. I beg your pardon, Doctor. We're going to have to leave it there. That rhetorical question. All the experts, Ada, I'm reminded of Ada, is it rocket science? Well, all the people who are rocket scientists of our monetary and fiscal policy, they've come together, and this is what we have. I don't know, maybe, you're removing you, but maybe the rest of us don't really understand it. But